Hi, hello, it's Nikki, and welcome to my messy bookshelf. Today I'm here to share my weekly reading wrap-up, and I had a really good reading week last week. I finished 3 books and made progress with several others, or a couple others. One book we didn't make progress in, but I will get to that in a moment. The first book that I finished was finally reading a Dorothy Sayers, Whose Body by Dorothy Sayers. I had mentioned before that I had been avoiding reading Dorothy Sayers because I was worried about reading a book from a contemporary of Agatha Christie and being disappointed. But I was not disappointed whatsoever in this book. This book had a great mystery. Dorothy Sayers' writing is very funny and clever, and there were quite a few moments where I laughed out loud and chuckled and very, very pleasantly surprised by that. So the mystery is about a body being found in an architect's bathtub. Meanwhile, there is an unrelated crime where a wealthy man goes missing, and no one seems to think the two crimes are connected. But Lord Peter Wimsey is curious and decides to investigate, and he is an amateur sleuth and has a wonderful valet who, I won't say bullies him, but kind of reminded me of Sam with Mr. Pickwick. So loved that. And similar to our friend Hercule Poirot, who has a friend in Scotland Yard, so does Lord Peter Wimsey. But not the same whatsoever. Lord Peter Wimsey is very silly, but very bright at the same time. And I really enjoyed him as a character. I also really enjoyed the banter between him and his mother, the Dowager Duchess, and it made me laugh a lot. Surprisingly, the murder in this book was pretty dark. It was a pretty dark murder, so I won't spoil it, but yeah, much darker than I expected with how funny I found so many parts. There was a very funny scene where they are at an inquest and all of the people giving evidence was very funny to me. But yep, overall, loved it and will continue reading Dorothy Sayers. So, moving on, the next book that I completed was The Glass Hotel with our Audiomiles event that we were doing that we're continuing on with. So for that event, we were doing a group read of The Glass Hotel. And for most of it, I felt very confused because seemingly unrelated events, very unrelated events, are connected in some way. And for the longest time, I didn't see how they were going to be able to connect. And eventually they do. Her writing is beautiful. Things that I would never want to read about, she made interesting just because she writes so well. So I think that it was awesome the way that she kept my attention because I could only do this when I could only listen to it when I was walking. So making me sufficiently curious that I was like, fine, I'll go on a walk because I want to know what happens next. So loved that. I think I ended up just reading the book, walking a total of 26.32 miles. So that was an added bonus. And yeah, overall, I really liked the book. I think I liked Station 11 more, but this one surprised me with how much I ended up liking it in the end. Moving on, the next thing that I finished was one, I can't believe I haven't read this sooner, and how many times do I say this in my videos? But I finally read The Wind in the Willows, and this was a pure delight. This was delightful. A nice, calming, cozy, gentle adventure involving 4 friends, 4 animal friends, and one of them is a little bit ridiculous and is constantly getting into little misadventures, so cracked me up. I loved all of the characters, and surprisingly, I was not expecting with something this cozy and, you know, sweet to have a hardened criminal and a prison breakout. So, and, you know, a stolen vehicle. So I find it so funny that that was in here, And I loved Mole, Mr. Toad, Mr. Badger, and Mr. Rat. They were delightful together, and their little conversations and constantly being hungry and sitting down to supper or breakfast, I just found that delightful. It reminded me of The Hobbit in the beginning with them eating and stuff. So loved that. I wish I had read it sooner. Yes. Moving on, the one we did not make progress in, Impossible Creatures. Nothing wrong with the book whatsoever. We still plan to continue on with this book, but because this one is one I decided to read for middle grade March, and I decided to read it with my daughter, she had points that she needed to get for her reading quota that she does at school, and she chose to read a bunch of National Geographics and tried to get a bunch of quick points instead of sitting down for a chapter book for a while with me. But we are going to continue now that she has met her other goal. So we will be continuing that and probably carrying that over into April. Moving on, what do I have here? Yes, one that I think I may finish before the end of the month, but we'll see. The Satapur Moonstone by Sujata Massey. Another one that I am reading for March Mystery Madness. And I think I'm hooked now. So I'm in chapter 3 right now. And now that I am done with the other things that I was reading, I feel like I have more time to devote to this. And I loved the first book, The Widows of Malabar Hill. And this one is so far shaping up to be just as good. So we'll see. We will see. And then, of course, I am still working on my brick here, The Count of Monte Cristo. And I am now on, I think, chapter 80. And yeah, if I do not finish this one this month, I will finish it early on in April. Definitely gonna carry it over and definitely going to finish this book. This book has been a pure joy for me. All of the adventures, and yeah, yes, this is shaping up to be a favorite of mine. But that is what I have been up to this past week, and I would love to hear what you all are reading or what you read this week. And I thank you for sticking around to the end of this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.